For you to fully understand what I'm talking about, make sure to look up the Pablo Torre Finds Out episode from earlier today about Collusion Gate, the secret text and testimony of NFL owners and superstars quarterbacks revealed. Because it involves Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson and, of course, the Baltimore Ravens. This all essentially takes place right after the whole Deshaun Watson gets a fully guaranteed contract by the Cleveland Browns. And if some of you remember, there was a video and a quote from Steve Bisciotti, Ravens owner, basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing, this was a bad idea. What are the Cleveland Browns doing? And he kind of went off, and he was just upset that the Browns gave Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract because, if you remember, also at the time, the Ravens were negotiating with Lamar to get a new extension done. Now, as you see above me by Pro Football Talk, during the hearing on the collusion case, Ravens GM Eric DeCosta testified that his difficulties in negotiating directly with Jackson, who has no agent, was exacerbated by technical difficulties, saying that Jackson had a microphone issue and that it was making communications with Eric DeCosta quite difficult. Going on to say whether that was true or simply an avoidance technique is open for interpretation. Regardless, it's a tangible example of the practical impediments to getting a deal done between Jackson and the Ravens, and we would have never known about it if the NFL and NFL Players Association had been allowed to continue to conceal the ruling. So it says here, per part of the document, after a conversation with Jackson in 2022, DeCosta came to believe that Jackson would accept a non-fully guaranteed deal and offered Jackson such a contract. Of course, Lamar did not accept that offer. Following additional unsuccessful negotiations, Lamar texted Eric DeCosta to inform him that rather than sign a non-fully guaranteed contract, he would play under his rookie contract's fifth-year option. Then text Eric DeCosta saying, "I'm going to continue to request a fully guaranteed contract. I understand you all don't, and that's fine." And then after the 2022-23 season, Jackson and the Ravens were negotiating again, with Jackson renewed his request for a fully guaranteed contract. DeCosta offered Lamar two different 3-year contracts that Eric DeCosta considered to be fully guaranteed. Jackson did not accept either of those contracts and then, as we all know, requested a trade. Then during this time, that's the whole microphone issue he had on his phone. To assist Lamar, Eric DeCosta asked him for the names of the teams he might be interested in being traded to, but Jackson never provided such a list. The Ravens eventually franchised him using the non-exclusive franchise designation so that Jackson could negotiate with other teams. So essentially what happens next is, before they put that non-exclusive franchise tag on Lamar, teams had reached out to Eric DeCosta about possibly trading for Lamar. The moment they put that non-exclusive franchise designation, we saw no teams reaching out to Lamar or the Ravens about him again. Essentially what that means is any team that offered Lamar a contract, the Ravens then can go match that same contract. Which then, as we all know, how it all ends, Eric DeCosta was preparing for the 2023 draft because assuming Lamar was going to be traded and go somewhere else. But on the eve of the draft, he sent Lamar a new offer, which then Lamar accepted. And it's a big deal again because, as we all know, the Ravens and Lamar have been talking, at least per reports, about another extension. So here we are again, where Lamar and the Ravens are probably going to have similar conversations, and Lamar once again is be like, hey, I'm now a 2-time MVP, should have been 3-time MVP if we're honest. I want a fully guaranteed contract because look what Deshaun Watson has done for the Browns since that contract. He's been worth nothing. And look what the Ravens have gotten for Lamar. He's been nothing but phenomenal and had arguably the best year of his career this past season. But of course, this doesn't just affect Lamar. This has affected Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and pretty much any other quarterback that's gotten a new deal since the Deshaun Watson, signing. So will Lamar get a fully guaranteed contract? I highly doubt it. I hope it gets a lot closer to that fully guaranteed, because if not, we're probably going to see the same shit all over again. Even though Lamar is still under contract for a few more years, I just hope it gets resolved sooner than later because I don't want to have to be, as a fan, going through this once again with the Ravens and Lamar. Just pay the guy.